Good Wednesday, everyone. I'm meteorologist Dave Snyder at the National Weather Service with Alaska's statewide weather. Low pressure is filling in across the Bering Sea at this hour, but it's dropped to 984 millibars, and gale warnings are out for a large part of the Aleutians and the Bering Sea coast. A wave of low pressure and colder air is trying to work its way into the Gulf, and that frontal boundary will likely fall apart in the next 24 hours as it runs into high pressure across the western Gulf and just offshore of Kodiak. That remains strong at 1,019 millibars. Areas of wet weather across the Bristol Bay communities of Dillingham, King Salmon, and points northward toward Cape Newingham, and we see some associated rainfall and an area of instability across the Yukon Valley and points north toward the Brooks Range. Meanwhile, dense smoke advisory is still in effect. That'll go through at least tonight and into tomorrow in some cases for the central and eastern parts of the interior, including the upper Tanana Valley. Looking at the forecast tonight, low pressure is sitting and spinning south of Haida Gwaii at 1,007 millibars. That's pushing a little bit of Pacific moisture into southern parts of southeast. Look for a better chance of rain around Ketchikan and Annette versus Juneau. That should be relatively dry, but you'll see a few more clouds in that general direction. Low pressure across the Yukon also sparking some thunderstorms. You may have seen some of those yesterday if you were across the eastern interior and north of the Alaska Range. More to come tonight. Showers around the northern parts of Prince William Sound. Most of that should be confined to the higher terrain there north of Valdez, and a stationary boundary along the Brooks Range will keep the focus for wetter and cooler weather just to the north across the Arctic slope and coastal plain. Low pressure continues to fill in across the central Bering Sea. Watch for some stronger winds there to continue around the chain with northwesterlies for the central and western parts of the islands. More of a south and westerly flow for the Alaskan Peninsula. Areas of light rain, drizzle, and fog are expected, especially west and south of Kodiak Island. For south central, the clouds will continue to pick up as you look at the Kenai Peninsula. A chance for showers there, mainly along the inlet and westward into the Alaska Range. As we get into Friday, though, better chance of rain for more parts of south central, including the Matanuska-Susitna Valley, but the Copper River Basin looks to remain relatively dry, even though it will be relatively cloud-covered. Low pressure works its way out of the Bering and into the extreme north and western Pacific, into the Gulf of Alaska at 997 millibars, heading toward the end of the week. The occluded front marches across Kodiak Island and into the central Gulf with a southerly flow across the northern Gulf and more of a northerly flow coming right out of the Bering and crossing the chain. Meanwhile, high pressure sits right across the Beaufort Sea. With Alaska's statewide weather, I'm meteorologist Dave Snyder. Find your weather anytime at weather.gov.